Johnson versus Taylor Schabusiness. The appearances are the same. Deputy District Attorney Saunders, District Attorney Lezay for the state. District Freilich is here for the defendant, and the Schabusiness is here as well. So we're on the court's calendar this morning, not just to complete the, or just to continue with the jury trial, but I asked the parties to report at 8:15 to voir dire the last witness about the issue that came up yesterday. Is the witness here?
That witness is here, Your Honor. In addition, Ms. Danelski is also here from Green Bay PD, who may have more information about technical issues if the court has concerns. But I can address this if you want to voir dire Lieutenant Luberta first.
I would like to do that. So if you could come on up.
Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in the matter now before the court, so help me God. I do. Please have a seat and state your name for the record.
Jenna Luberta, L-U-B-E-R-D-A.
So, Lieutenant Luberta, we invited you back this morning to ask a few questions, and I'm going to afford the attorneys an opportunity to ask those questions, to ask some questions as well. But I was looking at the two exhibits, 99 and 100, that appear to be the extraction reports. And I'm going to hand those to you. Actually, counsel, I don't have copies of those. So she's looking at the originals. Do you have a copy that I can look at while I ask some questions? And then I'm going to give each attorney an opportunity to ask some questions, but I have some specific questions I'm interested in. If they're your only copies, I'll give them back before you ask your questions. Okay, I'm looking at these reports, and the question that I had for the attorneys is if there's a way to identify when these searches occurred. First of all, and my exhibits are not numbered, I believe the one that says searched item 35 in the upper left corner is exhibit 99. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So as far as the searches on these forms, everything that I see has a timestamp item in the far left. For example, item number 1, timestamp February 19, 2022. Does that tell me when this was searched?
Yes.
Okay. And each one of those are, each one of those search items seems to have one of those timestamp denotions on it. Can you, when I look at a 100, however, I don't see a similar indication as to when these were looked at. And so first of all, as far as exhibit 100, are these searches or something else?
These are something else.
What are these then?
These are you referencing the actual photographs, or are you referencing the information?
Well, that's a good question. First of all, are the photographs affiliated with the information? In other words, you're extracting something, and these came from the phone, and all the data comes along with the photograph?
They are from the phone and affiliated with the search, However, I believe Analyst Danowski will be better able to answer that question for you as far as what's done on Google's end when I wrote the warrant.
Okay. So you're not able to, the question I'm driving towards is, how do we know when these were accessed by the defendant through the defendant's phone? And you're not able to tell me that?
Correct.
Judge, I think I might be able to clarify with a couple of questions. The exhibit that you see in front of you, Exhibit 100, that has those photos, and then they all have a date associated with them. I think of March 8th of 2022. Is that correct?
Correct.
And that is the date after the phone was seized from Ms. Schabusiness, correct?
Correct.
Now, that is an extraction report built upon the return that you received from the Google warrant, right?
Correct.
Now, did you also review an extraction report from the phone itself?
Yes.
And when you looked at the extraction report from the phone itself, were you able to find dates that corresponded with the photos of Jeffrey Dahmer?
Yes.
And when you looked at the phone itself, what were the dates that corresponded with the photos of Jeffrey Dahmer?
It was February 6th, February 12th, and February 13th.
And are those consistent with the dates of the searches for information on Jeffrey Dahmer that you saw both in the phone and on the Google warrant?
Yes.
Now, do you know why the March 8th, 2022 date was assigned by Google when you received that from the warrant?
No.
But I just want to confirm that you did two separate searches. One is the phone itself, and then there's a second that is from the Google warrant, correct?
Correct.
And the exhibit that you have in front of you, 100, that's from the Google warrant, not from the phone itself.
Correct.
Mr. Fraley, do you have any questions to voir dire this witness regarding these exhibits?
Well, I asked yesterday for copies, but I don't have them, so I'll have to take a look. Can I look at those?
Sure.
Could I approach your honor?
Yes.
Thank you. Should I call you Officer Liberta or Miss Liberta?
Miss Luberta is fine, thank you.
Thank you. This Exhibit 100, it's a extraction report, and it says Google warrant return, correct?
Correct.
And this is information that is directly from Google,
Correct.
and it shows different searches, is that fair?
Yes.
It's got like a byte size, correct, on it? Like the number of bytes?
I would have to look.
And then it's got a modified date on there, is that fair?
That I know, yes.
And it's got a source file, correct?
I'd have to look at it again.
And then it's got pixel resolution, correct?
I'd have to look at it again.
Okay. And these are basically thumbnail pictures or photos?
I'd have to look at it again.
Your Honor, could I approach?
Sure.
Thank you. Okay, I see bytes, size,
It's got different categories, correct?
different categories, yes.
All the things that I just asked you about, is that fair?
Yes,
This, this March 8th, 2022 date, that is the date that the cell phone that is associated with these pictures was seized?
what is the question?
That March 8th, 2022 date, is that the date that's associated with when the phone was seized?
No,
Corresponds with those pictures?
it is not the date that the phone was seized.
Okay. What is that March 8th, 2022 date then? Do you know?
It says it is a modified, and then it has the date.
Okay. Do you know what that means, modified?
No,
Okay. I think you said these other dates, February 6th, February 12th, February 13th of 2022. What were those dates?
Those were the dates that searches for Jeffrey Dahmer or Jeffrey Dahmer in some way were done.
And is that what's on that Exhibit 100?
No.
Okay, no other questions?
Okay.
Judge, I do have as an additional exhibit for the court, a report that was generated from the phone itself, which quite clearly shows the date stamp associated with some of these photos, and particularly the date stamp associated with Exhibit 101, which is the large picture that the state intended to address. So I can provide that to the court if it alleviates any concerns regarding the date of that particular photo. Ms. Lubert, I'm showing you what's been marked as Exhibit 102. Can you review that?
This is the Cellebrite report extraction of the device screenshots taken by forensic computer analyst Danowski.
And those are the screenshots that you testified to yesterday that you reviewed when you were doing your analysis of the phone extract itself, correct?
Correct.
And in that exhibit, are there a number of photographs depicted of Jeffrey Dahmer?
Yes.
And those have date stamps associated with them?
Yes.
Google, and those are in the Google Photos section of the device, is that right?
Correct.
And what is the date stamp associated with the picture of Ms. Schabusiness holding a cell phone photo of Jeffrey Dahmer next to her head and smiling?
Saturday, February 12th, 2022.
Thank you. I have no further questions on that point.
Do you want to voir dire the witness on that, Mr. Freilich?
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Liberta, does it indicate on this Exhibit 102 extraction report, created 3/2 of 22? Says that, right?
On the bottom, correct.
Okay. It says it on the bottom of page 1, page 2, and page 3. Is that fair?
Yes.
Okay, nothing further. Thank you.
Just to clarify, that 3/2/22 date, is that the date that analyst Danowski created these screenshots?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, you can sit down.